Welcome to my home.
What happens behind the closed doors of Hollywood's elite? The recent allegations against Sean Diddy Combs have pulled back the curtain on a culture of exploitation, manipulation, and abuse. But this isn't just about Diddy. It's about a much bigger system that's been in place for decades. In this video, we'll explore what we know, what's been hidden, and how Hollywood's power structures create an environment where predators can thrive. According to the UK Daily Mail, new video footage has surfaced of Diddy telling guests at one of his legendary white parties in the Hamptons that it was time for the kids to go home and for the real partying to begin. In footage obtained exclusively by the Daily Mail, Diddy, then 54, stands, champagne glass in hand, like a dictator on his balcony. He says, "We fed you, we gave you drinks. Now it's time to enjoy life. This is a celebration of life. This is the real white party. Kids have an hour left." Then this thing turns into something that, when you get older, you're all going to want to come to. So let's start to get our groove on, put the kids away. It's all good. All right, DJ, let's hit it. Let's do it.
Okay? So, let's just start to get our groove on a little bit. In an hour, we put the kids away. It's all good.
The pictures of the people who showed up to these parties are just amazing. At one point, Diddy was dating Jennifer Lopez from around 1999 to 2001. But one particular picture from a white party features Kimora Lee Simmons, Russell Simmons, Damon Dash, Aaliyah, Diddy, Jennifer Lopez, Lisa Zane, Billy Zane, Victor Matthews, Matthew Broderick, Sarah Jessica Parker, Andre Harrell, and Veronica Webb, all from the year 2000. There are also pictures of Leonardo DiCaprio at one of Diddy's parties, as well as many other famous faces. Images obtained by the Daily Mail show a glittering guest list, a who's who of movie and music industry fame, many of whom have remained conspicuously silent since Diddy's recent arrest in New York earlier this week. In pictures shot at Diddy's 2008 party, scantily clad, half-naked girls are caught in the swimming pool, tangled together, pouring champagne into the mouths of male guests. These girls were likely prostitutes. Many of the female guests, according to the Daily Mail, did virtually nothing to hide their modesty. Not a shock at all. The gathering seemed like a time capsule from the late 1990s. Howard Stern, Kelly Osbourne, Aretha Franklin, Leonardo DiCaprio, Martha Stewart, Jay-Z and Beyoncé, Mariah Carey and husband Nick Cannon, Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson, and a young Kim Kardashian all attended these events. Apparently everybody knew about this, according to former music industry insider Tom Swoop, who recounted his memories of surviving Diddy's white parties on his YouTube channel. The parties were divided into tiers of access. There was general admission and then a series of more exclusive tiers, ending with entrance to the inner sanctum where the real partying took place. This allegedly included sexually humiliating male and female guests in exchange for promises of record deals or money. Swoop and others spoke about the presence of drugs, including ecstasy and cocaine, which were snorted off the bodies of these so-called guests. In an interview with Oprah in 2006, Diddy said the idea of the white party was to strip away everyone's dimension, put us all in the same color and on the same level. However, Swoop alleges that Diddy once told a young artist to perform a sexual act on his bodyguard in return for $100,000 and a record deal, only to claim it was a joke when the young man was about to submit. This behavior exemplifies how people in Hollywood have long used their power to manipulate others into doing horrible things. Celebrities, because of their fame, often feel untouchable and fall into these predatory patterns. There are also claims that even minors were present at these parties. For example, Khloe Kardashian once mentioned Justin Bieber was naked at one such event. Bieber would have been around 20 at the time, but similar incidents occurred when he was younger, raising questions about his treatment. Footage has also emerged of Diddy acting awkwardly with a much younger Justin Bieber. In one clip, Diddy recaps Bieber's 48 hours with Diddy, with Bieber looking uncomfortable and dead behind the eyes. In another clip, Diddy is seen patting Bieber down, seemingly checking him for a wire. A very odd behavior between friends. The fact that so many people in Hollywood remained silent about all of this, despite clearly knowing what was happening, speaks to the toxic culture in the entertainment industry. This behavior, normalized over time, isn't unique to Diddy or Epstein. It's a reflection of the broader hedonism and depravity in powerful circles. The real story here isn't just about Diddy, it's about who knew, when, and what they did or didn't do about it. This type of abuse has persisted in Hollywood for decades, enabled by the power, wealth, and fame that disconnect people from morality and accountability. What's particularly telling about the Diddy scandal is how it mirrors many of the structural issues seen throughout the entertainment industry and beyond. The sexual abuse, manipulation, and coercion that allegedly took place at his white parties are symptoms of a much larger problem, a power structure that allows the wealthy and influential to act with impunity, while those at the bottom are left voiceless, exploited, or too afraid to speak out. This system of abuse thrives on the idea that fame and power create untouchable figures. Celebrities like Diddy are not just musicians or actors, they become cultural icons, people whose very presence can elevate a social event, a product, or even a career. The desire to be associated with someone of Diddy's stature compels people to ignore what's happening right in front of them. They prioritize access to that fame over their own moral compass, creating a culture of complicity that allows predators to flourish. This is a dynamic we've seen again and again. It's not just Hollywood. It extends into politics, corporate America, and virtually any sphere where there is a concentration of wealth, fame, and influence. Just as Jeffrey Epstein's social circle included high-profile individuals from all walks of life, politicians, billionaires, and celebrities, the guest list at Diddy's white parties suggests a network of influential people who were either willing participants in or passive witnesses to morally and legally questionable behavior. The key question remains, why does this happen repeatedly? Why does a culture that seemingly glorifies inclusivity, progressiveness, and social justice behind the scenes tolerate and sometimes celebrate behavior that's exploitative and abusive? It goes beyond Hollywood's famous hedonism. At its core, it's about power, those who have it and those who don't. The real story isn't just about Diddy, it's about a system where the rules are different for the rich and powerful. This isn't new. Think of the scandals involving Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, and Epstein. In every case, the abuser's power and influence shielded them for years, often decades. Their victims were usually powerless by comparison. Young actors, aspiring artists, or people desperate for a break in an industry that dangles fame like a carrot on a stick. What's even more disturbing is how normalized these behaviors become in these circles. When the line between professional and personal life blurs, those who don't want to participate or who see through the facade are often ostracized or silenced. Stories of open secrets abound in Hollywood. People talk about how everyone knew what was happening, but no one did anything. It's not just about fear, it's about maintaining the illusion. The illusion of glamour, of success, and of untouchability. No one wants to be the person who tears down the facade, especially when so many livelihoods are at stake. This dynamic creates a type of collective moral decay. Once you're part of the inner circle, you start to ignore things that would be unacceptable anywhere else. You justify it as part of the game. After all, to call out a person like Diddy means risking your career, your connections, and even your reputation. This is how these powerful figures maintain control, by holding not just financial and social leverage over people, but by controlling the narrative. They create environments where speaking out makes you the outcast, and staying silent keeps you in the game. Diddy's parties, with their tiers of access, perfectly symbolize this hierarchy. It wasn't just about getting into the party, it was about how far you could go, how deep you could get into the inner sanctum. The deeper you went, the more depravity you witnessed, but by that point, you were too far in. To step back or speak out meant losing everything you had gained. So many people likely chose the path of least resistance. They kept quiet, stayed complicit, and hoped that the public would never find out. The exploitation didn't stop at sex or drugs. It extended into every aspect of power dynamics, including business. For young artists, especially those coming from less privileged backgrounds, Diddy was a gatekeeper. The promise of a record deal or a chance at fame was enough to make people endure or even participate in the worst aspects of these parties. The music industry has always been rife with stories of exploitation. Artists signing bad contracts, getting trapped in deals where they lose creative control, or being manipulated by those at the top. For some, enduring the dark side of Diddy's empire was seen as a necessary evil to achieve success. But for others, it became a path of irreversible damage. The unsettling reality is that much of this abuse is not seen as a violation of social norms within these circles. It's simply part of the game. The attitude of "this is how things work" creates an environment where boundaries are constantly pushed and the value of human dignity is diminished. When Diddy told Oprah in 2006 that his white parties were meant to strip away everyone's dimension and put them on the same level, what he didn't say was that this leveling was often at the expense of people's basic humanity. This erosion of values in Hollywood, and indeed in many industries, has far-reaching consequences. It creates a ripple effect where people begin to believe that success justifies any means. Whether it's snorting drugs off someone's body, coercing a young artist into performing sexual acts for a contract, or turning a blind eye to exploitation because it benefits your career, the culture of fame becomes a corrupting force. As we've seen with other scandals, the truth eventually surfaces. But by the time it does, the damage is often irreparable. For people like Justin Bieber, who entered Diddy's orbit at a young age, the psychological toll of being groomed and manipulated can last a lifetime. While Bieber has since distanced himself from these events, his dead-eyed appearance in early footage, as well as his hesitancy to speak out about Diddy's arrest, tells a story of someone who likely experienced much more than he ever let on. The arrest of Diddy and the subsequent revelations may trigger more people to come forward, but this alone won't fix the deep-rooted issues within Hollywood and other industries built on similar power dynamics. The real question is whether society will continue to turn a blind eye to the systems that allow abuse to thrive, or if this moment will finally lead to meaningful change. If the Epstein scandal taught us anything, it's that these kinds of power structures don't crumble easily. It will take more than just a few arrests or exposés to dismantle the toxic culture that has been normalized over decades. It will take a collective effort to hold not just the perpetrators accountable, but also those who enable them. The managers, agents, publicists, and yes, even the fellow celebrities who knew but stayed silent. The Diddy story isn't just another Hollywood scandal. It's an indictment of an entire system that preys on the vulnerable and allows the powerful to operate without consequence. Until we address that systemic issue, these stories will keep surfacing, and the cycle of abuse will continue. Diddy's white parties might have been the stuff of legend, but what happened behind the scenes was anything but glamorous. This isn't just a story about one man's actions, it's about an entire industry that's been complicit in exploitation for decades. But the tide is turning, more people are speaking out, and the systems that protected powerful abusers are starting to crack. The question now is, will this be enough to create real change? If you or someone you know has been a victim of abuse, reach out for help. Together we can break the silence. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any new videos. Don't forget to click the notification bell to get notified whenever we upload new content. Goodbye and see you in the next video. The shocking scandals of P. Diddy, uncovering his darkest secrets. Welcome back to our channel where we break down the biggest stories in entertainment. Today, we're diving into one of the most shocking and controversial figures in the music world, Sean Diddy Combs. Known for his groundbreaking contributions to hip-hop, a luxurious lifestyle, and a string of successful business ventures, Diddy's name has also become synonymous with controversy, particularly in recent months. From accusations of sexual misconduct, racketeering, and drug use, to chilling testimonies from his inner circle, Diddy's reputation is facing its biggest test yet. We'll explore the rise and fall of a music mogul, and how these dark secrets are threatening to unravel his legacy. Buckle up. This is a story that spans decades, filled with twists, shocking revelations, and scandals that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about Diddy. Before we dive into the recent scandals, let's first set the stage. Sean Diddy Combs, also known as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, and now just Diddy, is one of the most successful music moguls of all time. He founded Bad Boy Records in 1993 and quickly became synonymous with hip-hop's golden era, working with icons like the notorious B.I.G., Lil' Kim, and Mace. Diddy's influence was undeniable. He turned Bad Boy into a powerhouse label that shaped the culture of music, fashion, and lifestyle. He wasn't just a record executive. Diddy was the blueprint for the modern-day music entrepreneur, launching clothing lines, alcohol brands, and even venturing into reality TV. By the early 2000s, he had solidified his place as one of the most powerful figures in entertainment. But even as Diddy reached the heights of success, there were whispers of a darker side. Numerous artists who worked under the Bad Boy banner, including Mace and the Lox, have come forward over the years, accusing Diddy of shady business practices. In a particularly public dispute, Maze, one of Bad Boy's biggest stars, accused Diddy of holding him back financially and creatively. He claimed Diddy refused to sell him the publishing rights to his music unless he paid an exorbitant amount, an accusation that painted Diddy as a controlling figure who prioritized profits over the well-being of his artists. Similar stories came from the Lox, who famously waged a Free the Lox campaign, demanding to be released from their contract with Bad Boy. For these artists, working with Diddy was a double-edged sword. He could launch you to stardom, but he would maintain control long after your hit records were made. One of the most explosive scandals to hit Diddy's empire came from his longtime ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. In November 2023, Cassie filed a civil lawsuit accusing Diddy of sexual assault, physical abuse, and emotional manipulation during their on-and-off relationship, which lasted over a decade. According to the lawsuit, Cassie alleges that Diddy subjected her to years of violence, coercion, and abuse. She claims that he forced her into non-consensual sexual acts with other men, introduced her to a lifestyle filled with drugs, and manipulated her into staying in the relationship under the guise of love. The lawsuit includes claims of physical violence, recounting incidents where Diddy allegedly punched her in the face, leaving her bruised and traumatized. Cassie's revelations sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry, with many calling Diddy's behavior predatory and abusive. In her testimony, she described feeling trapped, fearful, and unable to escape his control due to his power and influence. Although Diddy quickly settled the lawsuit, reportedly for millions of dollars, the damage to his public image was already done. But Cassie's allegations are just the tip of the iceberg. As more details emerged, other women came forward with their own disturbing accounts of what they called freak-off parties, reportedly organized by Diddy. These parties, which have been described as drug-fueled sexual escapades, allegedly involved coerced sexual activities, sometimes with multiple participants, and were orchestrated by Diddy himself. One of the most alarming claims is that Diddy used his power and influence to manipulate women into these situations, providing drugs like ecstasy and ketamine to lower their inhibitions. Some of these events were even filmed without the participants' consent, raising serious legal and ethical concerns about violation of privacy and consent. These allegations have painted a picture of a man who used his fame and fortune to exploit those around him, creating an environment where abuse of power was normalized. Alongside the personal accusations, Diddy has also faced serious criminal allegations. In August 2024, federal investigators reportedly indicted Diddy on charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. These charges stemmed from years of investigation into his business dealings, particularly the way he allegedly used his influence to run a criminal enterprise. The indictment claims that Diddy orchestrated a network that facilitated illegal activities, from drug distribution to sex trafficking. These allegations are shocking, not just because of their severity, but because they suggest a much larger and more organized criminal element within Diddy's world. If proven true, these charges could result in lengthy prison sentences and the total dismantling of his empire. The response from the music industry has been mixed. While some artists have come forward to defend Diddy, others have expressed their disappointment and shock over the accusations. Fans, too, have been divided, some finding it hard to believe that a man who contributed so much to hip-hop could be capable of such acts, while others feel betrayed by the revelations. Big names like Jay-Z, Mary J. Blige, and even longtime friends like French Montana have remained relatively silent, leading to speculation about whether the industry is protecting one of its most powerful figures or if they are distancing themselves to avoid getting caught up in the scandal. So, can Diddy come back from this? Over the years, Diddy has been known for his resilience. He's reinvented himself multiple times, from Puff Daddy to Diddy, from artist to mogul, and from label head to TV star, but this scandal cuts deeper than any before. The allegations touch on abuse, coercion, and exploitation, things that are difficult to bounce back from in today's climate of accountability. Some believe that his business acumen and network of powerful connections could help him weather the storm. Others think that these scandals have marked the beginning of the end for Diddy's reign over hip-hop and pop culture. Sean Diddy Combs has built a career and legacy that few can rival, but as these scandals continue to unfold, we're left questioning how much of his success came at the expense of others. From personal accusations of abuse and manipulation to serious federal charges, Diddy is facing a reckoning that could forever change his legacy. What do you think? Will Diddy overcome these controversies, or are we witnessing the downfall of one of music's biggest icons? Let us know in the comments below, and if you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into the biggest stories in entertainment. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for more breaking news and in-depth coverage of the entertainment world.